What if everything you believed about humanity's origins was wrong? What if the fallen angels of Genesis 6, those who descended to earth, mingled with human women and produced a mysterious offspring, were not merely rebellious spiritual beings, but visitors from other worlds? It sounds absurd, heretical, conspiratorial. But what if that is precisely what has been hidden from us for centuries? The Bible records, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. Gen 6-2. The result was a generation of giants, the legendary Nephilim, being so enigmatic they were deemed a threat to creation itself. But here's the forbidden question. What kind of being could alter human genetics so radically? Were they truly angels, as tradition insists, or could they have been physical entities with technology and knowledge so advanced that ancient peoples mistook them for gods? The Bible is not alone. Similar accounts echo in Sumerian epics, Babylonian records, and the Book of Enoch, a banned text describing in detail how the Watchers descended, taught forbidden arts, and manipulated humanity. Mesopotamian tablets speak of gods arriving in flying craft, the Anunnaki. Indigenous legends tell of star people. Greek myths speak of titans born of immortals and mortals. Coincidence? Or the same story told under different names? What if these fallen angels were in fact an extraterrestrial race that intervened in Earth's past? What if the giants of the Old Testament were hybrids, the product of advanced genetic engineering? What if angelic wars were really cosmic conflicts between civilizations using Earth as their battlefield? Such questions shatter centuries of theology, archaeology, and science, but ignoring them doesn't erase them. This investigation will connect biblical accounts with archaeology, apocryphal texts, ancient myths, UFO records, and modern conspiracy theories. We will ask what no one dares. Were the fallen angels spiritual messengers or ancient astronauts? If you have the courage to dive into this forbidden mystery, stay with us until the end. What you are about to hear may turn your faith upside down, and perhaps that's exactly what they never wanted you to discover. From the opening pages of the Bible, a haunting mystery lurks. Who were the sons of God that descended to earth, took human women, and produced the enigmatic Nephilim? For centuries, tradition framed them as fallen angels, rebellious spiritual beings who abandoned heaven and corrupted creation. But what if the truth is even more unsettling? What if these fallen angels were not merely spiritual rebels, but physical intelligences from beyond our world, intervening directly in human history? This explosive idea cracks open a fault line between faith, science, and conspiracy. Genesis 6 is brief, almost evasive, as if hiding more than it reveals. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also afterward when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the mighty men of old, men of renown. Gen 6:4. Who were these giants? What knowledge did they bring? And why were they seen as such a threat that God responded with the flood? Scripture hints at a profound enigma, wrapped for centuries in silence, fear, and allegory. Yet other civilizations tell eerily similar tales, and the parallels are hard to dismiss. Sumerian texts speak of the Anunnaki, gods descending from the skies in radiant craft, teaching humanity agriculture, astronomy, metallurgy. The banned Book of Enoch describes the Watchers who corrupted humankind with forbidden knowledge. The Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of demigod giants, born of divine human unions. Indigenous traditions recall star people who arrived in remote ages. The convergence is striking. Cultures oceans apart tell the same story, beings from above mixing with mortals, leaving extraordinary offspring. So the forbidden question emerges. Was this spiritual rebellion or extraterrestrial contact cloaked in ancient religious language? Were the Nephilim mythical monsters or genetic hybrids? Were the fallen angels divine messengers or ancient astronauts? Each manuscript, silence, and taboo seems to point toward a truth humanity still resists. And what if that truth is more disturbing than any traditional theology? In the next chapter, we'll explore how different civilizations preserved this enigma and why its echoes may still reverberate in our own age. There is something unsettling about how ancient accounts converge on the same story. Celestial beings, imposing in stature, descending from the sky to intervene or interfere in human life. The Bible calls them sons of God. The Sumerians, Anunnaki. The Greeks, Olympian gods. The Egyptians spoke of deities from the heavens who imparted hidden wisdom. The Aztecs and Mayans raised temples to the star people. The parallels are too sharp to dismiss. It's as if the same enigma was recorded in different tongues, across eras, yet always with the same essence: visitors not of this world. The Book of Enoch adds a shocking detail. The Watchers not only mingled with humans, they taught forbidden arts, metallurgy, sorcery, cosmology, enchantments. Could this explain why so many ancient civilizations held knowledge that seems to outpace their time? How could people without telescopes map stars invisible to the naked eye? How did they build structures still defying modern engineering? Scripture, combined with extra-biblical traditions, suggests a transfer of non-human knowledge. Here lies the explosive controversy. If fallen angels were extraterrestrial intelligences, our entire history must be re-examined. Was mythology distorted memory of real encounters? Was spirituality partly interaction with cosmic beings? Were miracles divine signs or misunderstood technologies? And if so, how far were we shaped, not just spiritually but genetically, by such entities? Genesis does not deny these beings' physicality, quite the opposite. They take wives, bear children, produce hybrid offspring. That sounds less like spirits and more like tangible beings. What if modern science confirmed such hybrids existed? Fossil remains of giants, often dismissed as anomalies, might be suppressed evidence. Why have museums and scientific institutions buried reports of giant skeletons discovered in the 19th and 20th centuries? Could there be a deliberate silence to preserve the official narrative? The line between faith and science blurs. What religion labeled as myth or heresy may be the missing key to our origins. If the fallen angels were extraterrestrials, we may be facing the greatest conspiracy of all time, the truth about who we are, where we came from, and who really shaped us. In the next block, we'll dive deeper into historical records, archaeological findings, and suppressed evidence that could support or dismantle this disturbing hypothesis. Brace yourself, the puzzle pieces do not fit comfortably. To grasp the enigma of the fallen angels as possible extraterrestrial intelligences, we must look beyond Scripture and examine the fragments scattered through history. Archaeology, anthropology, and myth all preserve traces of this forbidden story. Connect the dots, and a chilling picture emerges. Humanity as contact with beings from beyond may not be sci-fi invention, but an ancestral reality cloaked in religion. Take the Sumerians, the first great civilization. Their clay tablets, over 4,000 years old, speak of the Anunnaki, those who came from heaven. They didn't just rule, they taught writing, mathematics, astronomy, engineering. Some accounts even hint they altered human genetics, shaping Homo sapiens as a hybrid project. Coincidence, or a direct echo of Genesis 6? In Egypt, hieroglyphs show gods descending in celestial boats, handing pharaohs wisdom to sustain cosmic order. The Greeks told of titans and demigods, born of gods and mortals, beings of enormous size and strength. Mayans and Aztecs built pyramids aligned with astronomical precision, as if following instructions from sky-born teachers. The banned Book of Enoch goes further. The Watchers taught mankind forbidden sciences, metallurgy, astrology, sorcery. Does this not sound eerily like advanced technology delivered to primitive hands? How else did ancient cultures achieve such knowledge without external aid? Then there are the giant skeletons unearthed in the 19th century across the US, the Middle East, even South America, often seized and hidden away in institutions like the Smithsonian. Researchers claim this was deliberate to protect the official narrative. If the Nephilim were hybrids of angels and humans, could these remains be the physical proof long denied? Every culture, every text, every silence points to the same conclusion: an external hand-shaped humanity. But the haunting question remains: who were these visitors? If spiritual beings, why such physical traits? If extraterrestrials, why does the Bible call them sons of God? In the next block, we'll probe apocryphal manuscripts and suppressed traditions that expand this forbidden tale. Because if history has hidden something, it's in the margins and the censored texts that the most shocking truths are waiting. If Genesis cracks open the door to mystery, it is in the apocryphal texts, those excluded from the official Bible, that we find the most chilling accounts of the fallen angels. The Book of Enoch tells of 200 beings called Watchers, who descended upon Mount Hermon and bound themselves in a pact to take human wives, produce hybrid offspring, and teach forbidden knowledge. Leaders like Semjaza and Azazel are named. Enoch details how they taught women sorcery, seduction, divination, and men metallurgy, weapons, and astrology. It was a flood of forbidden knowledge that rapidly corrupted humankind. Other traditions echo the same tale. Ugaritic texts describe warrior gods teaching magical arts. Babylonian lore tells of the Apkallu, semi-divine sages rising from the waters to instruct kings. Rabbinic sources later linked Azazel with the wilderness, as if exiled for sowing chaos. When pieced together, these fragments form a disturbing picture. Multiple cultures pointing to an external intervention, always described as beings from above, breaking natural boundaries. What if those secrets were not mysticism but technology? Advanced metallurgy, precise astronomy, sudden bursts of medical knowledge, all could be understood as technology delivered by superior intelligences. But why were these accounts buried? Perhaps because acknowledging them would erase the divide between faith and science, showing that fallen angels may have been extraterrestrials with designs on humanity. The Book of Jubilees adds to the story, describing angels sent to watch the earth who became corrupted, spawning evil spirits. The Testament of the 12 Patriarchs warns of hybrid spirits tormenting Israel. Many of these texts surfaced among the Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered at Qumran in 1947, revealing how blurred the line is between Bible, myth, and forbidden knowledge. The unavoidable question: if this were mere legend, why do so many cultures across continents tell the same story under different names? Isn't it more logical they were describing the same phenomenon, visitations by non-human intelligences with cultural variations? In the next block, we'll confront this enigma with archaeological finds and suppressed historical records that could unlock the truth. Were Genesis' fallen angels, in fact, extraterrestrials? Throughout modern history, archaeological discoveries have hinted at hybrid beings and advanced civilizations that don't fit the official model. Giant skeletons unearthed in the US, Russia, and even Brazil were reported in 19th and early 20th century newspapers, only to vanish after being seized by institutions like the Smithsonian. Leaked documents suggest tons of bones were disposed of to protect Darwin's evolutionary narrative. Coincidence, or a cover-up to hide the Nephilim? In the Middle East, skeletons over 10 feet tall were found alongside cryptic inscriptions. At Baalbek, Lebanon, stone blocks weighing hundreds of tons were quarried and placed with precision modern cranes cannot match. Who but beings with superior technology could achieve this? The Bible's giants on the earth seem carved into every colossal stone. Paracas skulls in Peru, with elongated shapes and abnormal DNA, suggest non-human lineage. Were they remnants of unions between humans and fallen angels? Artifacts like the Baghdad Battery show ancient electrical knowledge. Ecostones depict humans with impossible creatures and advanced instruments. Nazca lines, visible only from above, resemble airstrips in the desert, all dismissed as mysteries, yet together pointing to intervention. The pattern is undeniable. Evidence of external influence on humanity is suppressed, ridiculed, erased. Yet Scripture warned, there were giants in the earth, and also afterward. Apocryphal texts echo it, traditions repeat it, artifacts whisper it. Next, we'll explore how these stories echo into the present, modern UFO phenomena and contact reports, suggesting the fallen angel mystery may never have ended. If biblical and apocryphal texts speak of beings descending from above in antiquity, modern phenomena may be their continuation. What we call UFO sightings, abductions, and encounters bears eerie resemblance to ancient accounts. Once, they were fallen angels. Today, aliens. But what if they are the same entities described in the language of each age? The Roswell incident of 1947 was more than a crash. It marked the start of secrecy around extraterrestrial encounters. Witnesses spoke of strange humanoid bodies among the wreckage. That same year, the Dead Sea Scrolls were unearthed, including the Book of Enoch. Coincidence or cosmic timing hinting at the return of an ancient secret? Abduction reports describe genetic experiments, reproductive manipulation, hybrid offspring. Disturbingly close to Genesis 6, they took wives and bore children. The pattern repeats, now through scientific language. Sightings cluster around sites of spiritual and archaeological significance. In Brazil, the Varginha case 1996 involved military and doctors testifying about captured creatures. In 2017, US Navy pilots reported tic-tac craft defying physics, with the Pentagon admitting to unidentified aerial phenomena. What if these are not new visitors, but the same ancient presence? The fallen angels who once shared forbidden knowledge may now reappear as cosmic scientists shaping our destiny. The stage has changed, but perhaps the players are the same. Next, we'll see how these modern manifestations blur the line between faith and science, and why the greatest revelation in history may be destined for our generation. The 21st century may be the stage for the greatest revelation in history, proof that Genesis 6 fallen angels were not myth, but real entities still at work among us. Here lies the inevitable collision: faith versus science, scripture versus technology, spirituality versus ufology. Are we ready for impact? Religious leaders insist these beings are angels and demons, spiritual rebels bent on corrupting humanity. Scientists and governments, meanwhile, investigate phenomena defying physics, craft moving at impossible speeds, lights appearing and vanishing, entities interacting with witnesses. What the Bible called sons of God is today logged as unidentified aerial phenomena. 2 languages, 1 reality. Pentagon reports in 2020 admitted to craft breaking the laws of gravity. Navy pilots described tic-tac encounters at hypersonic speeds. In 2023, NASA formed a panel on unidentified anomalies. Meanwhile, the Vatican runs one of the world's oldest observatories, and insiders claim holds secret files on extraterrestrial life. Coincidence or controlled disclosure? Thousands worldwide report abductions, telepathic messages, visions of luminous or monstrous beings. To some, they are angels, to others, demons. Yet the parallels with Genesis 6 are chilling. Genetic manipulation, hybrid offspring, forbidden knowledge. The pattern is unmistakable. The ultimate question: what happens when science and religion are forced to admit they were describing the same thing? Will it shatter faith or reveal its deepest truth? Next block, we'll expose how governments, elites, and religious institutions may be preparing the stage for this revelation, or burying it to maintain control. The enigma nears its climax. If there is a forbidden truth about the fallen angels, it is not only scripture that veiled it. Modern institutions, governments, elites, even the church, seem to guard it at all costs. Why? Because admitting that Genesis assembled sons of God were extraterrestrial visitors would shatter the pillars of power itself. The Vatican has amassed biblical manuscripts, apocrypha, grimoires, explorers' letters, even UFO reports. Its secret archives hold thousands of restricted documents. Insiders claim they include full translations of Enoch, medieval accounts of celestial beings, and non-angelic apparitions. Meanwhile, the Church runs one of the world's most advanced observatories at Castel Gandolfo. Why would a religious institution pursue the stars so intently, unless preparing for disclosure? Governments play the same game. The US investigated thousands of UFO cases under Project Blue Book and later classified programs. In 2020, the Pentagon admitted to unidentified aerial phenomena, yet withheld origins. Why? Perhaps because admitting they are the beings of Genesis would wreck both scientific credibility and religious authority. And the elites. Billionaires pour fortunes into space programs. Masonic and Rosicrucian texts speak of cosmic masters guiding mankind's dawn. Could the elites guard this knowledge while steering humanity toward a future we are not told? The pattern is undeniable. Vatican hides manuscripts, governments bury evidence, elites reach for the stars. All suggest the same shocking truth. Genesis' fallen angels were not metaphors, but extraterrestrials who shaped us and may soon return. Next block begins the climax. Faith, science, and conspiracy colliding in a single explosive narrative. Brace yourself, the storm is here. The world has always felt something looming, but never like this. The clash of faith, science, and conspiracy has reached boiling point. What once lay in ancient manuscripts and tribal myths now breaks into headlines. Military reports of unexplainable craft, religious leaders hinting at cosmic brothers, elites racing for the stars. But what if all of it is just the prelude to the return of the fallen angels? Picture it. Satellites tracking impossible lights, crowds staring skyward, social feeds flooded with glowing spheres descending worldwide. Leaders call emergency conferences, but their reassurances ring hollow. Churches split between those declaring the time has come and those desperate to deny. Scientists scramble for explanations, but evidence crushes every excuse. Scripture already warned us. Genesis 6 told of the first descent. Enoch described forbidden knowledge shared. Revelation speaks of stars falling, of beings opening the abyss. The pattern is unmistakable. What we call aliens may be the same entities who came to Mount Hermon millennia ago. Did they ever leave? Or have they been waiting for this very moment? Humanity now stands at a crossroads. Embrace the truth that we were never alone, or cling to the illusion of control. Yet history shows the cycle. Fascination, deception, destruction. Will they return as saviors or as predators? We are on the edge of a global spiritual collapse. The climax is no longer speculation, it's at the door. Next block, we all dive into the ultimate apex, the global impact if the fallen angels revealed themselves in our time, and why the unveiling may have already begun. Picture a global broadcast, world leaders confirming we are not alone. Higher intelligences have been here for millennia. In seconds, humanity's foundation would crumble. Churches would erupt in screams and tears. Some would cry, "The fallen angels are back, judgment has begun." Others would declare, "They are our cosmic kin." The planet would descend into a war of interpretations. Markets collapse, religions fracture, governments stagger as millions flood the streets, praying, rioting, burning idols, begging for answers. In the chaos, secret groups emerge, claiming they hold the truth, offering salvation that hides chains. The skies blaze with signs, glowing fleets, geometric patterns, craft hovering over capitals. Spectacles so staggering they make pyramids and Stonehenge look like rehearsal. To some gods, to others monsters. But everyone knows this is beyond human comprehension. Scripture foretold it. Men's hearts failing them for fear of what is coming on the world. Luke 21:26. This is global spiritual collapse, no longer theory but reality, and these beings would come as saviors. But are they, or the ancient deception reborn? The climax is this: humanity faces a decision. Bow to the visible gods in the sky, or recognize them as the fallen ones, returning in disguise. Faith itself would be tested to the breaking point. Next block, the final surge of the climax. Human hearts torn open in the ultimate battle between fear, faith, and revelation. The climax is here. No escape, no denial left. The entire world watches frozen as the heavens tear open in silence and light. Vast craft hover over capitals. Blazing orbs trace symbols across the skies, and humanity feels in its bones what was once myth. The sons of God have returned. The Nephilim of Genesis, Enoch's watchers, Sumerians, Anunnaki, all the same, now revealed in flesh, fire, and power. Crowds collapse to their knees, not in worship, but raw terror. St. Peter's in Rome quakes with cries of apocalypse. In Jerusalem, Jews, Christians, and Muslims wail together. In Mecca, millions scatter in chaos. The planet itself becomes a cathedral of fear. Religious leaders are drowned out by the roar of panic. Scientists stammer, their rational walls shattered. Social feeds broadcast humanity's collapse in real time. A mother in Brazil sobs to her child, "The giants of Genesis have returned." A US pastor screams, "Noah's days are here again." A rabbi in Tel Aviv cites Enoch in tears. The truth is undeniable. Prophecy was never metaphor. The fallen were never just spirits, but tangible, invasive intelligences now standing before us. And the question burns: are they saviors or executioners, teachers or predators? Some hail them as cosmic brothers. Others see the ultimate deception, Eden's sin, repeated on a global scale. For they come not to observe, but to rule, not to guide, but to conquer. Humanity now faces the final crossroads: bow before the visible gods, or cling to the invisible Creator who warned us from the beginning. Every tear, every heartbeat becomes a battlefield, where humanity realizes nothing will ever be the same. The silence after the storm is more terrifying than the thunder of the climax. Lights still hang over cities, not attacking, not departing, just watching, like predators sizing their prey. Humanity is already shattered. Churches crack under doubt. Believers stare at one another, unsure whom to trust. Scientists stammer their authority in ruins. The spiritual shock is catastrophic. Many renounce faith, claiming Scripture was only distorted accounts of cosmic visitors. Others cling desperately, shouting that prophecy is fulfilled, that the end has come. Streets become battlefields. Some build makeshift altars to the cosmic masters, while others retreat into caves with their Bibles, crying for Christ. Meanwhile, the visitors remain silent. No words, no gestures, only their crushing presence. That silence alone rewrites history. For some, it is hope of a new age. For others, it is the shadow of doom. The Vatican scrambles to unite Christians. The UN holds endless sessions. Secret societies whisper in shadows, positioning themselves for advantage. And the masses, they watch, trembling, caught between awe and terror. The question is inevitable. If the fallen have returned, what comes next? Is there silence mercy, or the stillness before the strike? The silence lingers. Lights hover over cities like unyielding sentinels. Humanity, fractured and wounded, realizes history has reached a point of no return. It no longer matters if they are angels, demons, or extraterrestrials. What matters is that they are here, and their presence rewrites scripture, science, and centuries of belief. Paul once wrote, "The mystery of iniquity is already at work," 2 Thessalonians 2:7. That mystery is now physical, undeniable. The fallen of Genesis 6, Enoch's watchers, the gods of old civilizations, all converge into one truth. They were never myths. They were realities, veiled and suppressed, and their reappearance is not mere phenomenon but judgment. The world trembles at the final dilemma: bow before the new visible gods or resist with faith in the invisible Creator. It is the moment where fear and faith entwine, where every tear is prayer, every heartbeat a verdict. Humanity learns freedom is not choosing the comfortable truth, but staring into the abyss without looking away. Some proclaim a new age, others cry out against the ancient deception reborn. Yet no human voice is enough. Earth itself has become a stage for revelation too great for empires, sciences, or religions to bear. And in the deepest silence, one question echoes like thunder: is this the beginning of the end, or only the end of the beginning? We've reached the end of this journey, but not the end of the questions. From Genesis to ancient civilizations, from apocryphal scrolls to modern conspiracies, from Nephilim to UFOs, we've seen how the line between faith and science, myth and reality has blurred. Maybe yesterday's fallen angels are today's aliens. Maybe we've always been under the watch of powers beyond us. What matters is this: the possibility forces us to rethink everything, who we are, where we came from, and where we're heading. And now the haunting question: what about you? Do you believe these visitors are cosmic saviors ushering in a new age? Or do you see in them the echo of Eden's rebellion, the ancient deception reborn before our very eyes? If humanity had to choose today, where would you stand? Resist with faith in the invisible God, or bow to the new visible gods? If this journey shook your mind and stirred your heart, mark it here. Hit that like. It's free, but it empowers this work. Comment your thoughts: angels, demons, or extraterrestrials. We want to hear your voice. Share this video with someone who needs to reflect on it today. Save it, because tomorrow it may be the reminder you need. And above all, subscribe to the channel. Each video is another investigation, another plunge into the mystery, and you don't want to walk this road alone.